change one thing about these movies to make them better. And I have a list of options. You choose one and explain why you chose it.
They're going to say, hey, how come Paul's wearing a different shirt? Did they stop the conversation, wait 4 days, and then pick it up again right from that, like they do in movies? So yeah, they had 4 female comedians in the same movie, all doing the same comedy. And then they let them riff. And that just took away from anything that they were trying to accomplish. You know, they could have come up with a good story with a real villain, and they didn't. They were more interested in just doing their thing and thinking that these 4 great comedians are going to be able to carry the show. Mm-hmm. And you can't. You have to have structure, you have to have some semblance, and that's where they failed.
Okay. I have to go with the Force is female. Like, all the talk surrounding this movie before it was released was all about the cast and the crew. Everything about it was all women, and people were just saying, oh, I want a Ghostbusters movie. I don't want to know about all the politics and agenda and stuff like that. And so people were actively going in there wanting to hate it.
And then saw it and hated it.
Yeah. And they're thinking, why could you just not have made a good Ghostbuster movie instead of relying on all of this outside chatter about stuff? You know?
Yeah. Like I said, all of the above is accurate.
Now, inside the movie, do I think it was a terrible, terrible movie? No. But
yeah, I did.
There was a lot wrong with it. A lot.
Yes.
It was a terrible movie, Paul. You're taking one of the greatest franchises.
No, you're taking one of the greatest movies.
The single one. Number 2 wasn't great.
Okay. One of the most beloved franchises. Okay? The Ghostbusters franchise is a beloved franchise.
Okay.
You're taking it and you're using it for your own political purpose.
Right.
Right.
That was my answer.
Yeah, I know. But that made it a terrible movie. Like, if it didn't exist, life would be better.
I think had they just did a good script with a good story, no one would have cared if it was females in it or not. But they didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they had a horrible story. They kept going off script, and they just relied on, hey, we got 4 female comedians, come see it. Otherwise, you're a misogynist, I guess. And that was the message that they were sending out at the time. I went and saw it with a complete open mind, and I'm sitting there going,
at least I'm not a misogynist.
Oh my God.
See,
this is horrible.
I went to see it already with a bad taste in my mouth because of all the outside stuff. And that's not how I want to go see a movie. No. I don't even watch trailers. I don't want to know what's going to happen in the movie. And this was always in your face.
Yeah, that's why directors and stars and everything need to learn how to shut up and just talk about, hey, I'm excited to be in this great movie on this great franchise. I'm excited to play this character.
That's what they used to do.
Yeah. All right, next.
The Hobbit trilogy.
Oh my God.
Option number 1. It could have been better if they just stopped the bad CGI. It should have been a single movie. The characters were ultimately forgettable. The cartoony slapstick vibe was too different from the gravitas of Lord of the Rings.
I'm going to go C, because that's a big problem when all your characters just blend in. They have all these dwarves in the first movie especially that are singing and that around the table having this dinner and everything, and I don't know who any of them are. I don't care who any of them are. They introduce a new elf character that's not in the books just so they could have a love interest with Legolas, or Legolas, depending on how you pronounce it. But, like, no, nobody cared about it. To this day, I guarantee you, you don't know who that female elf character is.
No, I don't know who any of the characters are.
She's a main character in the movie. They wrote her specifically to have her in the movie. And it was a good actress playing the role in the movie.
Yeah, you can name every character in the original Lord of the Rings.
That's right. And that's the problem. And they just blended in the story. I enjoyed the book when I read it. And the Battle of the Five Armies, I was really intrigued when I was reading the books. That was a great story. I would love to have seen that properly done on screen. But that all pales in comparison. If I don't know why they're there, who they are, what's the reasoning behind anything, why is these 11 dwarfs going to save the entire dwarf kingdom? Like, what the heck's going on? And so, yeah, no, they did not bring out the characters. They were more interested in just, hey, look at us having fun, and these are dwarves, ha 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 ha. And no.
Okay, so my biggest problem with that movie, and I don't think it's on your list. The only thing that the dwarves ever did was run away from things. Like, that's the entire movie is them running away from everything. I don't think there was a goal other than them running away from different situations. And they did 3 movies of that. So stop running away. That's my answer. Stop running away.
So in the first movie, they die.
Well, fight, do something. But their entire thing was running away.
They rode barrels. They didn't run.
Oh my god.
They rode barrels down the water thing for some reason.
Yeah, so this is a tough one for me because I really want to say CGI. Because when I think of the movies, all I think about is that really bad river scene.
Yeah.
Or when they're falling down the waterfall from that
inside the
troll
cave.
place.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to say this should not have been 3 movies. Like, you can't take a very thin book. The Hobbit was a very thin book, thinner than I think Ender's Game. And they made it 3 2+ hour movies.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You know how they can do that? Money.
Yeah, it worked for them probably.
Look at Harry Potter. The new series is based on a 13-page book about magical creatures. And they're in their 3rd movie.
Yeah, and how good are they?
They suck. So, yeah. Okay. We got one for you.
Okay.
This one's a little bit more different. This one will be more of an open discussion than coming up with it.
This is the open discussion part.
That's right.
I'm always looking for the validation, right?
But we were thinking about stars that had great potential. Everyone at one point was kind of raving about them. Their star power was high, their earning power was high, but they never quite reached star status, if you will.
They just never got that one role that catapulted them.
You know, like Harrison Ford, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, that launched them, right? But how about number 1? High School Musical, Zac Efron. Been in a ton of movies. You probably don't even know that he has, but he's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah. The Greatest Showman.
Christian Slater. Back in the day. We thought of Melissa McCarthy. Lots of movies. Is she a star? And how about Emma Watson from Harry Potter, Beauty and the Beast?
They were all it people.
They were all, they were the go-to people at one point. And they were able to demand huge salaries at one point.
At least after their first and second project.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I heard the options, my natural answer would have been Zac Efron.
Okay.
Because High School Musical and 17 Again, I just thought he would be the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then even like his career just never took off. Even one of my favorite songs is from The Greatest Showman with him and Zendaya.
Yeah.
And I just think he has had so much potential that was just not there.
Well, he was triple threat. He could sing, he could dance, he could act.
He was handsome.
Handsome. Where's his peak?
Yeah. But after hearing the options, I have to say Melissa McCarthy because she is a star. But she is such a small star because everybody complains about the projects after they've seen them. I think she has so much comedic talent, but also real acting talent. Because in the kitchen, she was great. And she didn't do the slapsticky stuff in her sitcom.
Right.
I think she is a really, really good actress, but she does all those projects with her husband that are just like C-level movies. And I think she could have been Sandra Bullock level.
Right. Of like top tier fame.
Yes. But she just went for cheesy, corny, middle of the road projects instead of quality.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, I think.
Is that who you're picking as well?
No, I think, honestly, I believe in his day, Christian Slater I think he had so much potential to be such a big star. And he just disappeared. Right off the map. They just stopped casting him. I'm not sure if it was a political thing.
Or did he have a couple of bad movies that he did and people weren't interested in
He had lots of bad movies that he did.
Maybe. I just feel like he was an up and coming star, and then I heard nothing.
But what is it about him that makes
Just
him...
his he had a charisma and the way his voice was, and he was just so cool looking, and then just gone.
Because he had popped up in a movie recently.
Yeah, what was that? He played an older cop or something like that. I can't remember what the movie was, but we recognized him right away.
We recognized him, but it's not like he was a standout and we're saying, oh yeah, Christian Slater.
No, it was like he was kind of sort of making a small return back to film after a long absence. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but back when he was young and in his day, I thought, wow, he's going to be an up and coming.
Was it the Freelance movie with John Cena?
Oh, it might have been that.
Where he was sending him on the mission, kind of thing.
Yeah, it might have been something.
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up like he was in the first time I saw him was in Robin Hood. Mm-hmm. With Kevin Costner, and everyone was talking about how he's the next superstar, and then I saw him in Broken Arrow and a couple other movies, and
it was just bad casting. I don't know.
Never thought of him as a big coming star myself, ever.
Okay, who's your answer then?
I'm gonna have to go with Zac Efron because I think that whoever was his career manager after High School Musical. Instead of and 18 again, 17 again. It was a great comedy. I really enjoyed that, and I said, "Oh, this guy has some comic chops. He can act a little bit. You can get the emotion. The girls like him. He should be going right." And then he does this movie with he's playing catch with his dead brother, and it's like soppy movies and really low budget emotional movies like that. He did 2 or 3 of them in a row. Romantic comedy, things like that weren't comedies. I mean, they're just romance sappy movies.
Yeah.
And he went from this fun person that can dance and sing and everything to like, hey, he's a sloppy, slappy kind of guy, and he hasn't recovered. He's been in Baywatch. He's been in the greatest music, Greatest Showman, Bad Neighbors. He's been in a lot of movies
where he does a good job.
Where he's doing good jobs when he's there.
Even that fighting one you just did there.
Hmm?
Oh yeah, he did a wrestling one.
Oh, that's right, and it's getting good reviews, but it's not launching his career anywhere.
No. Like there's a big gap in his filmography where. Like, it's just nothing. Yeah. And we see him in a couple of places, but his whole life has passed him by when he could have been the guy.
The thing.
Now, here's a question for me. Do you think it's because of the way he went and bulked up?
No. I think him being ripped had nothing to do with it.
He went from a thinner, younger guy with abs to a super pumped, tiny-headed guy.
No, because he wasn't the Hulk when he did that Dead Brother movie.
No, but that's the career path. But now, Baywatch and all the fighting movie, he's like jacked and like this
he
everywhere he goes.
The character though.
Yeah, but is that as attractive to the female audience and other people?
I think it's too late. I don't think it matters. It's been that long.
Yeah, he's too old to be the heartthrob now, but he could have ridden the heartthrob train
for a while.
How old is he?
Well, he's got to be in his 30s, close to 40.
Well,
Or in his 40s.
I don't think anyone has called people in their 30s can't be a heartthrob anymore. George Clooney is still a heartthrob. Tom Cruise is still a heartthrob.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. People have memories of them being heartthrobs, but they're not heartthrobs anymore.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah, he's not a heartthrob. Leonardo's not a heartthrob. You're right. They're only 20-year-olds that can be a heartthrob.
Yeah, they're handsome men, but people aren't pinning up current day George Clooney on their wall.
30 and 40-year-old women are.
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
So, and
Don is.
and who pins anything on their wall anymore? You want to talk about dated?
Okay, well, I don't think they have them as their wallpaper on their computer.
You know what? Tonight I'm going to Blockbuster and buying some posters.
No, the thing is, when you're young, you become enamored with an actor and you follow their career and their fan base gets bigger. But you can't just disappear and then show up when you're 30 and get that big fan base.
No,
right?
No, his time has passed, unfortunately, no matter how good he is. He could have a revival, right? You can come back.
Prediction. They're going to do a 17 again reboot where he's the older guy.
Well, they will, because they have no ideas in Hollywood anymore, so they have to remake everything they can, except he's going to be female.
Yeah, and he'll go back in time to be a woman. A girl.
Okay, let's write down that prediction.
Okay, those are our topics of the day. Or questions, whatever you want to call them.
Open conversation.
Now, out of all those stars, which one do you think actually had the greatest potential? I noticed how none of us said Emma Watson.
Although it was a good option.
It was.
We could argue it.
Beauty and the Beast was big. She was signed to play with Tom Hanks in a big upcoming movie that just never took off.
Okay, you know what I think her biggest failure is? Is she puts all of her political views out there.
I don't think so. I don't think that had anything to do. I think it's that she's not really that good of an actress. When you actually watch her acting in even Harry Potter, when she was really young, yes, but as she got older, everything was breathless when she's talking. Oh my God, everything's like, and it was like that. And she's just an okay actress. She's not a great actress. She's very attractive, and coming off the hit series, that helped. But I don't think she was a great actress with as much potential.
Okay, that's why she's not your answer then.
That's right. And I bet you that she's probably not anyone else's answer out there neither.
You know she's going to see this.